How's it going, guys? Joe here. Tonight I'm going to be trying to see if I can get my Mac paired directly with my hearing aids wirelessly for audio streaming, just like a pair of headphones. So let's just get to it. So basically, basically, I tried pairing Bluetooth with my hearing aids directly. I was told that I was supposed to be able to pair my Mac with my hearing aids, but some reason it doesn't work because I think you need an iPhone in order to achieve this, but I'm gonna try to virtualize Android using QEMU on my Mac to see if I can um oh because I can do it with my phone. My phone is Android and I can pair that directly to my hearing aids so that I can stream audio. It works pretty nicely actually, so that's why I'm gonna try to virtualize Android because there's an app that you can pair it with, and if I can pass through Bluetooth and sound to the virtual machine, and it actually does pair with my hearing aids and the virtual machine, then I can, in theory, accomplish the same thing as I do with my phone, but using my Mac. So that probably doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I apologize about that, but um, yeah, basically, I'm gonna pair my Android with my hearing aids. I mean, my Mac with my hearing aids using Android in a virtual machine. Hopefully that makes sense. I'll kind of demonstrate what I can't do, and then I'll demonstrate what I can. I just realized I gotta plug in my Mac, so I'm gonna do that. Yeah. So, yeah, without further ado, let's just give it a shot. So, sorry, my mind's kind of blanking out right now. Hopefully that's not too much of a problem. So if I try pairing Bluetooth right now, um, I'm just gonna go to Mac, and in theory, I should be able to go to Bluetooth and just pair it, right? Oh wow, is that my TV? Can I stream audio to my TV from my Mac? I did not know that. I'm not even kidding, I didn't know that. So if I wanted to add a new device, not right there. Um, if I turn Bluetooth off and then turn it back on, I've noticed that in Windows, actually, I'll demonstrate it in Windows first. So if I were to try doing this in Windows, here, let me, this is supposed to be on my other monitor, so, I'm gonna bring it over there. All right. Sorry about that. This is not going right, but we'll get through this. So on Windows, if I were to pull up Bluetooth, so if I add Bluetooth device and Windows, for example, so this is audio. It includes audio, so I'm gonna click that. Make sure my device is turned on, and I think if I turn my hearing aids on and off, that for some reason puts it in Bluetooth pairing mode. I'll try it again. This time I'll shut off my hearing aids and turn them back on and see what happens. So yeah, my hearing aids are basically used like headphones. Yeah, there we go. So if I click on my hearing aid, for example, um, since I can't hear without hearing aids, I may as well use them as headphones as long as I have to wear them, right? Um, yeah, so as you can see, it's having trouble pairing it. I'm gonna try one more time. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna connect just because it just doesn't really work that nicely. Yeah, see there, it doesn't show up at all. I was actually able to get it at one point, I think, but it didn't actually play audio or anything. But now with my phone, on the other hand, if I go to Bluetooth on that thing, it just works nicely because all I have to do is go to Bluetooth. And as you can see, it shows my hearing aids. It's connected. Everything's hunky dory. So if I were to, what's something that I can just play? Um, Wait a minute. Did you see that? I'm sorry. Yeah. So everything connects nicely, as you can see, according to this. So, just Joseph hearing aid, and I'll pull up some audio as an example. Um, what's a good audio? So like my I have this video right here. It's glitching right now, but it should play normally. Yeah, and it's playing directly to my hearing aid. So just take my word for it. I can hear it directly with my hearing aid. I probably throw my phone across the room and it'll still work just as well. So yeah, audio works nicely with my phone, right? However, on Windows, we know very much that it's a different story. Whoops. Sometimes it just glitches out. But yeah, it doesn't show up on here nicely if I literally restart again. I feel like it's kind of hard to demonstrate this in a way that makes sense. I apologize about that. Yeah, it's just not connecting, right? We can see that it's not connecting very nicely. So then if I do it on Mac, uh, whoa. That was an interesting glitch. If I do it on Mac, then um, see if it shows up. Yeah, it's just not showing up like it did on Windows, right? I'll just restart Bluetooth and then turn it on as soon as I turn these on. See if it does anything. Yeah, it will work on iPhone though. And actually, even on my iPad, even though my iPad is like 7 or 8 years old, I think my hearing aid has actually worked with it before. So, not as well now, but it did actually work at one point. There's like a hearing aid accessibility feature. So now if I go to like accessibility, because that's where it is on the iPad with iOS 7 anyway. Accessibility right there. So audio, for example, Yeah, there's just nothing related to my hearing aids, right? So, point is, even though I was promised the Mac should be able to do it, it just doesn't. So, if I can, since it works on Android, if I was able to virtualize Android and get Bluetooth and sound working on there, then in theory I should be able to do that, right? Well, that's what we're gonna attempt in this video, basically. So you didn't really understand what was going on before. Basically, we're gonna try to do that essentially. So let's just do it. Oh, and some of you might actually find the warm color temperature a bit annoying, so maybe I'll shut that off. I got these on anyway. Um, yeah, right now you're stuck with the color temperature, so I'll shut that off. So, um, yeah, so what do we do? I'm gonna actually, since I've been using VirtualBox for the longest time, I don't think it can pass through Bluetooth, but QEMU should be able to. QEMU's got a lot better performance than VirtualBox and a lot more functionality overall. So I'm gonna try using QEMU. So um, download QEMU for Mac. I haven't actually done this yet. I've never run it before, so I'll probably be exploring it throughout this stream. So could use Brew, which is like the package manager. I think that comes with Mac, and it's ridiculous, but I like to use a terminal in Atom. That's just how I am. Um, I should use like Oh My ZSH or something like that. But ooh, we have to run the updates. Then if we wanted a full preview, we could just go like that. So this should install Brew. I mean, install QEMU so we can virtualize stuff. Now, virtualization on Mac isn't really, I mean, with QEMU, it's actually just a command line utility, but there is a graphical front end called Virt Manager, I believe. And this is what's commonly used with QEMU, and on Linux, it's kind of called KVM as well. I mean, basically, Linux uses KVM as a hypervisor built right into the Linux kernel. That can, because of that, it can uh, accelerate a QEMU virtual machine. But obviously, we don't really have that on Mac. So the best we can do with that is um, whatever acceleration comes with Mac. I think there is one. Um, Yeah, so we should be able to use QEMU and then Virt Manager so we can graphically manage the virtual machines and stuff. So, yeah, so this is installing, basically this is installing the QEMU, which is a fairly big program. While we're waiting for that, we might as well figure out Virt Manager. You could use some other things too, like in Linux, you can also use GNOME boxes, but I think this is what I want. I think if I go to the website itself, it just says download for your distribution, even Gen 2, which is crazy. Um, yeah, so for this reason, I think this has a Mac OS guide. And honestly, if it's not possible, then worst case, we have to figure out the command line. That's all right. So it's installing brew. It's actually installing a bunch of dependencies for it. It's weird how much Mac can intertwine with Unix or whatever compared to Windows and stuff, but Mac was actually trying to use its own system. I think it eventually switched over to Unix because it was a smarter move and a lot of the work would have been done for them. So, yeah, one of the benefits is we get terminal access and we can use it in a lot of ways. We can use it in Linux, which is brilliant. So, yeah, so this is a guide for cuz I've actually tried using QTEMU in Windows and I personally think it's garbage because it's just not very good in my opinion. Um I've tried it. The options are very limited. I've never actually used Vert Manager, but I've seen some videos on it. And I actually asked Chris Titus on YouTube whether this was possible, and he said that we should be able to run Android x86 on QEMU and be able to pass through. Then I also asked Veronica on YouTube, and she said that yeah, it should be able to do it, but she also pointed out to use a Bluetooth dongle, just and use USB pass through with that, just because at first I'm like I don't want to use that because I mean while I do have it on Android and can't do it on the computer, I actually do have a specialized device. I actually do have this specialized device right here. It's a third-party accessory for my hearing aids. It allows me to plug in 3.5 millimeter jack. And I got a port right here. Then I also got a USB adapter that I use on a hub, so I can hook it up to my Thunderbolt dock rather than having two things hooked up to the laptop. I just plug in one thing and then everything works, including charging, webcam if I have that, keyboard and mouse, monitor, all those things, even Ethernet, which I mainly use for peer to peer connections here. Otherwise, Wi Fi does good enough. So, yeah, I have this third party accessory. So, if I'm stuck with having to use a dongle, I'm just going to stick with this, honestly. The only real pro I would get with that is um, if I can actually get the Android app to pair it, I'll show you actually. So actually, let's see how we're doing. Let's actually see how we're doing as far as installation. We're gonna want to install Vert Manager before I explain this. So start installing it. So libvirt is, believe it or not, it's not just installed in Linux, but it's installed here too. So I'm just gonna copy and paste in here. So yeah, so basically on Android, I'll show you the app. So basically to pair my hearing aid, I actually do use an app called Smart 3D. It allows me to pair my hearing aids and stuff. So I just hit Smart 3D right here, and it gives me a lot of functionality with. So I can select the third-party accessories. I got two of them on the top, as you can see here. You can set all these presets if I want to set the audio balance for my left and right hearing aid. Yeah, my left hearing aid's turned down. Now it's muted. Now my right hearing aid's also muted. It feels like they're off right now, but not anymore. It's pretty neat, and it's also there's like different programs. I can press a button. If you don't believe me, watch. I'm gonna press a button on my hearing aid, not even touching my phone. And just like that, the app changed to the program. Pretty cool, huh? So yeah, um, I like it. And he's also a sound enhancer, so you can mess around with like the noise reduction. It seems like it's switched ever since I did a firmware update on these recently. Um, I can also do speech clarity because noisy environments are the worst for me because I'm stuck with basically the audio you can get from a microphone and noisy environment. It's really difficult to filter out one particular sound. It's so much easier with natural hearing versus going into a microphone. It's just way harder to pick out individual sounds since frequencies are very limited in the first place. But I'm not really gonna get into that too much. And you can have like different presets for whatever you want. Really, it's awesome. And I use the app to pair my hearing aids in the first place. So if I could do something like that with um, the QEMU Android, if I can install the app, then I can manage stuff from this app too. I wouldn't just have to do it for audio, but I can also manage the app right from my MacBook as well, which the App Store is most likely not going to come with it. You can be pretty certain about that. Um, if I search like Smart 3D, it's that's what the app is called from Resound because that's the kind of hearing aids I have. It's a Quadro 997, I want to say. Like QUATURO, I think. Yeah, it's not on this app store. So it's not really possible as far as I can tell. But if I can emulate Android and install the app and get it paired and everything, then I'd be able to do sound completely wirelessly like I can on my phone, or or configure the hearing aid settings, which would be pretty awesome. Otherwise, I could just always control my phone. I'm not gonna do that. Um, so Vert Manager, I have Big Sur, and I had Catalina to start with. So, man, this person actually really put some research in this and did what they could to fix whatever problems these are. I don't even know about the problems, so it's wonderful. It's very helpful, I think. So, yeah, let's get this installed. And then let's see, what do we have to do next? Oh, so then we're gonna have to add libvirt as a service. So that's how you. Yeah, I think being able to use libvirt, I mean virt manager in Mac would be brilliant. So hopefully lets us do that. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. I can pair with my phone, but I can't with the Mac, so I'm gonna try to virtualize it, and then being able to do it in Windows would also be pretty nice. If I could just do it right in Windows. So yeah. Um actually while we're waiting, let's also figure out uh QEM QEMU accelerator for Mac because in Linux it use KVM because that's the hypervisor built into the Linux kernel. And Windows, I think you'd use Hyper-V. And in Windows, you actually want to have if you go to the this appwiz.cpl, you're probably familiar with this page right here. If you go to the turn Windows features on and off, this Hyper-V right there, if you're going to use Hyper-V, you should have this disabled because it will make virtual machines like way slower. So I have it enabled if I'm using like the Windows subsystem for Linux, or I have Windows XP mode, which I think he's still doing Windows 10. It's been a little while. You want to have it disabled right there. You want to be able to use it in like QEMU or VirtualBox. I think it has the ability. Probably, I'm not sure. But regardless, um, yeah, so we're still installing, it looks like. Uh, so yeah, I just wanted to figure out what accelerator we use for Mac. Let's hope that the Virt Manager works. Otherwise, we're gonna have to figure out commands, which I would rather not do if possible. VirtualBox is nice. Just it's a lot easier to use, I think, but Virt Manager should help make QEMU easier to use, but VirtualBox is probably more beginner friendly. Like if you're starting out with Linux, you probably want to do like Mint or Hop OS, maybe Ubuntu, and you probably work your way up towards Arch or Gen 2. Probably not Gen 2 because it's for the absolute control freak and probably not for everybody. I've tried it, but after a while, I just wanna have things up and running pretty much. So Gen 2 is not for me. It's worth learning about stuff, using it to learn about how things work, but from there, then it's like you want to use something that's more efficient and not have to literally compile every single program from the source code and also control what gets compiled in the first place. Um, yeah. So, yeah, I'm not super familiar with QEMU. This is like one of my first times using it technically. I've used it a little bit in Windows, but that's with QTEMU, and I thought it was extremely limited. It's almost like VMware Player compared to Workstation. I personally have no reason to use VMware. Um oh, Might have to update Xcode. Hopefully doesn't take too long to do that. Probably is gonna take a little while. That's gonna be kind of a pain, but whatever. So I'm just curious if we can get like what is Final Cut costs. Oh, I thought maybe I could just get it, but it isn't quite that simple. Oh well. Um, just kind of exploring my options while waiting for the update. How big is this? Oh my gosh. You're not gonna make me do that, are you? You know what? It did also say get rid of it. I haven't really used Xcode all that much, so I think I'm gonna actually get rid of it at this point. I'll install it when I actually feel like I'm gonna use it, which probably will happen someday. I don't know. Um, How do I uninstall? How do you uninstall an app from the App Store? You're probably going to here. Let's see. Xcode. Yeah, there we go. Brilliant. That's how you do it. All right. I just want to make sure it's really removed or by. Is it not removed? Is Xcode really still on the system? Um, yeah. Oh, maybe I could just go like this. Wow, and it updated that and everything. Cool. Wow, a lot of items. A little bit harder than I thought this would be, but so I guess if you're like a developer of QEMU and you're wanting to make things easier, maybe parts of my experience will give you an idea on things that could be improved, maybe. I don't know. The odds of that are pretty low, but if it happens, let me know in the comments. Yeah, I think this is a better solution than trying to update it because I almost never use it thinking about it now. So how about can I run this as well? Yeah, I know it's ridiculous that I'm using Atom as a terminal, but I just like how it looks and I'm kind of a person who wants to get things up and running as soon as possible. I know you're just saying, well, just go like this. Wow. I mean, yeah, true, but as far as like customization goes, this just what comes in Atom just happens to line up with what I want. So, oh no. You're not telling me that it's not like updating the command. This is just the command tools, right? You know what? You know, yeah, what I like about this is you can just have a whole bunch of terminals open and even minimize them in a nice way. Um, Except closing them is a little bit of a pain, so I'm just gonna go like that. All right, so I'm honestly just gonna. So let's just. I'm just gonna see if this stuff happens to work. Most of the time, it seems to. So it does start. Just start. Also enable it, or like what you would do with systemctl in Linux. Then virt manager with a connection to it. Oh, so this will connect QEMU to it, I guess. What? Virt manager. Um, why does it not work? According to this, it should. Just gonna install Virt manager alone just to see if that works. What are the things that have errored out before? Because that Mac OS utilities, was that? Well, it just says the command utilities are out of date. I don't know if I spelled that right. No. Update OS X command utilities. There might be one that we can specifically do, maybe. Your command tool. Yeah, it errored out on Virt Manager. Interesting. Oh, this correlates with Xcode. Your command line tools are too outdated. I'm just gonna see if there's like an easy way to deal with that. Brew. Yeah. Brew doctor. Might as well run that. See, this is ZSH rather than Bash too. Right, so software update. I do not want to get this. Not yet, anyway. I just got Big Sur not all that long ago either. What is that? Just curious to see what this is, honestly. Oh, great. Guess I'll try it with my account, but not that it's gonna work. Two-factor authentication. Let's see what this is all about. I don't want wait command line tools. What is this? Why do I have to install it if I've uninstalled Xcode? Well, whatever. I hope this is even what I'm looking for. When I saw the reality at first, I thought it might have been like reality tests, like what you do to check if you could be dreaming or not. If you're a lucid dreamer, that is. I'm going to do one for this reason. So bear with me 1 second. I think I'm awake, but don't take my word for that. So what link am I using? Ah, I was thinking of downloading it on my phone, but I don't want to disconnect the wireless streaming in case I want to show my screen again. I don't want to mess with that either, so Also, how do I know this is even the right thing that I'm looking for? So, does QEMU work now? Um, what's the command line utility for QEMU? This is about compiling it. Um, QEMU command line Mac. I don't know if this is what it is. Probably not in the home directory. Um, Not sure if I'm gonna find it by doing this. I don't even remember how the find command works. I'm just seeing if I can just trying to figure out the command line utility while I'm waiting for it to download and stuff. That's essentially what's going on. Is that what the command is? Oh, I think I was expecting a whole bunch of different options to boot some machine or something, but here there wasn't any, so yeah. Is there like a help? Yeah, so that's the command line utility right there. Interesting. How do I even know that this is gonna work and whether Xcode is uninstalled? I don't want to like use a utility like this. If this is for sure like a free version, so drag it to the trash. Oh, the rest of it. So we need to go to library developer with sudo or um sudo dash I probably. So library developer. And actually, since we're root now, we need to make sure user Zinzi23 library developer. And then do we delete the Xcode folder? Find the developer folder. Funny how this might be the solution, but yeah. See, this is a one problem with installers. With the dependencies, it can cause unnecessary glitches like this. And realistically, keeping everything up to date would solve it, but this is most definitely one of the cons, at least in my opinion. So yeah. Um so let's yeah, we're getting rid of the whole developer folder. Does that fix the brew problems that we were just having? And we can install with the virt viewer. So this tap, that already good? It might be. Hey, wait a minute, wait, brew doctor. No, 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 no. Not what I wanted. The brew doctor. Is the error gone? There was an error the first time, right? Clear brew doctor. Ah, I'll be able to scroll. Oh, great. So it glitches with less. Doesn't really work that well with more. At least, yeah, that's a good point. Might as well try it here. Yeah, it glitches just as much here, so um I didn't see any errors, so I'm gonna assume that there aren't any. So I just wanted to check to make sure there weren't errors right off the bat before I started running this command. That's what I was just doing. I am very tired. Probably gonna regret doing it at this time. But I'll get things figured out. I'm accountable. I'm doing a live stream, so I'm very accountable right now. I'm gonna get something figured out. I didn't actually turn on the captions that I have on the other screen, but it's a really nice indicator to see how far behind the stream is online because the captions are delayed. It looks like about 10 seconds. Yeah, that's 9 or 10 seconds. Interesting. So, yeah. So, as far as Android goes, I created this ISO folder and I downloaded yesterday. I downloaded this most recent Android version. I assume that the most recent Android version will be compatible with um, the Smart 3D app. The reason I'm not, what? Are you kidding me? That's earlier version. So, so we're root right there. So I'm gonna Xcode. I don't think there's any files that would be stored in here. No. I'm just gonna give this a shot as long as it's downloaded at this point. Oh my gosh. That's insane. That's insane how much it does. I'm not understanding why I have to do this if I'm not using Xcode. This is where it's almost tempting to do something other than brew. There a different way to install Virt Manager other than even compiling from the source seems like it's more worth it. But if I do that, then how do I ensure it gets installed in the correct location? I just don't know if that would work. Having an NVMe SSD will help with this quite a bit. This already been like an hour. I haven't even got QEMU started yet. I'm just concerned about how we're gonna get if we're even gonna be able to get the Bluetooth and all that working. I'm just concerned about whether that's even possible. It might not be, but it might. If you're watching in the future, feel free to fast forward a little bit. I really wish YouTube um had like waveform, because if there's like a lot of silence, you can tell where it is based on the waveform very quickly. If you fast forward like 10 seconds, it's hard to tell if you missed something unless there's auto generated captions other than YouTube or Chrome's accessibility ones that we saw earlier. It's hard to tell if something was missed. But with waveform, based on audio, it's pretty easy to tell. Um, oh yeah, we're installing this. And man, I really hope this fixes the problem. Well, it does say your command line tools are too outdated, and we're installing command line tools. I hope. Ooh, this is the wrong version. 13 point. I'm gonna start downloading the other version just in case. It should be for version 13.1. I'm gonna start downloading this just in case we happen to have the wrong version. I want to get it started so I don't lose all that much time. The installation is of course successful. Um, so now let's see if this works. I have no idea if this is even gonna work. I bet on Windows I don't run into these problems. Almost tempting to install Virt Manager on Windows just to see, but realistically, I'm not going to receive the benefits of having it wireless on Windows, because I just use that third-party device anyway. I don't have to even put up with latency like I would with Bluetooth. I mean, I've learned to get used to it, but that's a factor. So, yeah, I bet doing this on Windows is just going to be a much easier experience. But I'm not really going to receive the benefits. I mean, I do have boot camp on this thing, but am I going to go with that? Probably not. So, yeah. Sometimes the download speed is actually really decent. Like, there's a previous live stream I did where it downloaded 100 megabytes in just like 10 seconds or something like that. Oh, I can't remember, but I was shocked because I almost never get those speeds. You want an idea what I mean by almost never? Am I getting those speeds right now? Not even close. So I'm not crazy when I say I almost never get those speeds because I really don't. It's crazy when I do though. It's great. So plan is we try to get Android installed. I hope it's as straightforward as I think it is. Um, Vert Manager should make things a lot easier than QTEMU. I'm gonna see if there's any recommended settings for Android. Uh, QEMU recommended settings. Android x86. I'm gonna see if there's anything worth noting about it because there might be. See, this is that the captions, these captions right here are the ones built into Chrome. Hopefully, we don't run into major bugs. Actually, Chris Titus recently made a video. I just want to see what kind of settings he went with. I'm gonna skim around through. Hopefully, I don't get a copyright strike, but I switch account to my other one. All right. So I don't even think he went over the settings in this video. Actually, I think I'm gonna pull up his page in Brave rather than just so I can go right to the video for now. I'm curious to see what he went with for like the CPU number of cores and all that, because that's actually something I don't necessarily feel like I have down. Is that a command I can run? Can I actually run that one command? I'm just curious to see if I can run it on my Mac. I don't know if I can. Um, I'll do a new terminal for that. No, it doesn't do sudo file systems in the same way. I'm kind of curious just to see. I thought he went over his settings with that, but I don't think he actually did. Maybe we went over it in this one. Yeah, this is what I was looking for pretty much. So we just did like 2 cores. Then it's interesting how we selected that model. I don't know if that could be relevant for later. Maybe it will be. I don't know. You know, is this getting further than it was before? Am I out of my mind, or is this actually making more progress? Is Brew like literally pouring stuff in? And this is not a brew, is it? I don't have a brew cup in handy. There's some around, but I don't really have them in handy necessarily. Oh, that's embarrassing. My cupboard was left open. Whoa. Whoops. I bumped the button. Turn on carrot browsing. You can navigate a page with a text cursor. What? Press F7 to turn it off. What is that? Carrot browsing. Um, if I hit F. What is this? I accidentally bumped a key, and then I do this. What is this? Um, is this what carrot browsing is? What? Are you serious? The text carrot blinker is how you navigate? Are you actually kidding me right now? Like, am I losing my mind or is this really happening? Reality test. I did one during the stream. I have not stopped streaming since I last did it, so I think it's reasonable to think that I'm not asleep dreaming yet. Yeah, I think it's reasonable to think that I'm awake. But I did do it like not that long ago. And I'm still in the same scene. I did not go to bed since last time. Very positive about that. Yeah, my blinking, it looks like I'm actually blinking, whereas in a dream, it doesn't look like I'm blinking at all. My vision is just like this, but my finger moves in the way it does when I blink like this. It's like pressing buttons on the stream deck. Blinking is like pressing a button on my stream deck to move my finger. That's probably the best way to describe it. That's why I do that reality test because um very different for me in dreams compared to waking life. And I don't know if it'll be the same for everybody, but and sometimes I find I can't even blink at all. Like my face is almost paralyzed in a sense within the dream, and I just can't blink. Did that work? Command errored out with status 1. Hmm. Well, let's assume that it worked, I guess, at this point. Amazing that it kind of helped. If it didn't help, then I'll do that other version. So I think libvirt is probably good. Did it not work? There's no chance that no. I didn't think roots would make a whole lot of difference with that. Um, Command line tools. Is there anything about it here? Remove command line tools for Xcode. Xcode select. Cool. Yeah, that looked right. Guessing G shows the group. I don't know what that G switch does. A is for hidden files. I'm just gonna run this. Judging by how long that's taking, it's probably really doing it. I'm gonna assume that it did it and then install this version just to see if it makes any difference. If things aren't going really well, then this is gonna be a failed live stream. And if I find myself wanting to get to bed, then I'm sorry, but I'm probably gonna end up doing that. And oh, you know what? This has nothing to do with the command line tools. This has to do with my version of Python. I always run the alias command with Python, but yeah, I have a Python program that'll glitch out, for example. I'm gonna test it once. So if I go into um yeah, that errors out. So yeah, it's my version of Python. That's what's erroring out. Well, at this point, since I removed it, I'm gonna install the correct version, and then I gotta correct Python too. It's see watch. So Python, I think you do version. See, is that the right version of Python? No. So uh ZSHRC. I wanna like permanently set the alias. Also, you create the file. So sudo nano. Yes, nano does work in here. It's a little bit buggy, but it works. I'm already in the home directory, but I'm just gonna do it like this. Dash ZSHRC. So this is installing, so we're not losing time by doing this. So I just had to hit enter, then nano popped right up. So alias Python equals there's a web page that whoops. Yeah, the keyboard shortcut for history is Command Y, not H. And I'm used to using Windows, so the keyboard shortcuts are pretty confusing for me. Uh, Python. Can't remember if this is alias. This might be like a temporary fix for it. And I selected alias Python, so I'll go like that. I know for a fact I'm gonna regret doing a live stream this late. It's midnight for me. I regret going for too long here. But whatever. I caught up on sleep. I fairly caught up on sleep, and now I'm effectively undoing that. It's great. I mean, yeah, it's gonna happen. So, alias. Oh, wait a minute. Let's run the command here too. Yeah, so now if I run Python version, see now it's a more recent version that's probably not gonna error out. And yep, is that up to date? That's essentially Python's package manager in a way. Um, oh, okay, so um, Python update. Yep. I'm just gonna make sure. See what the heck. Well, it says 3.8, so it might be okay. And the array utility installed, so now let's run that brew command. Let's try this now. Yeah, I literally think everything but the Python may have worked just fine. That's interesting how they call it brew, then have these actual analogies. Like pouring. Pretty soon we're going to be doing that. So Python 3. Ooh, what happened? Hmm. Do I need to install the latest version of Python? See, this is in Windows. I think this would have been over with a long time ago. I must have Snow Leopard. Oh, sure. It causes glitches. My gosh. It literally causes glitches. I'm sorry, but I feel the need to do this. Well, at least it didn't have to do a lot of those steps again like it did before. Yeah. I have reasons to update this. I'm always using this whole alias thing. I'm almost tempted to take it out now. Um, can I comment? Yeah, comment would be better. Um, So we're just gonna install like that. Let's hope I don't have to boot into safe mode and do what I had to do a while ago to get stuff like this working. Like with Steam, it literally glitched out on an installer. I had to boot into recovery mode and run this ridiculous command and do stuff back in the regular mode, and then it just worked. Ridiculous that I have to do such thing in the first place. Yeah. Um, I'm trying this again. So I think QEMU is working fine. It's just that the graphical front end is what's giving me problems right now. What are these errors caused by? Um, build and pip. Um, See, it still can't find Virt Manager. I think this is. With updated dependencies. Maybe we need to run this tap again. Not sure if that would make a difference. That looked a little bit different. The Pi didn't look like it was on there before. Please work. Unlike what I was doing before, I actually don't need to keep track of what I'm doing. Oh my gosh. What is the equivalent? I'm assuming there's no hope for this. What is the path that it's looking for? Oops. Oh, I didn't even bump it twice, I guess. What am I supposed to do? Not sure if this entire thing will help. Oh my gosh. What the heck am I supposed to do here? Wait. Libvirt Python. Um, let's see if that helps at all. That'd be amazing. Is this more stuff than it did just a little bit ago? This looks a little different, I think. Of course. I kind of jinxed it a little bit. How about Libvirt? Error command, the cellular. I don't know how to handle the log thing. I'm completely lost, by the way. I can't imagine running that one update thing would fix this. Is there no pull request already or something? I'm at a point of giving up right now. Yeah, no. Nothing like that. No, the X86 one. No, I don't know. Maybe it's in here. It's nothing that includes that about QEMU. QEMU system x86 underscore 64. Okay, so not sure if this is gonna help at all. The 2 gigs of memory. Invert IO. USB device, USB tablet, enable KVM, CD-ROM, documents, ISO, Android, whatever, yeah. Drive file equals I kind of tempted to store it in that same location. Honestly, I mean, I'm in the home directory, so whatever. I mean, I'm kind of tempted to just, if I copy on here, it's gonna glitch out. Like, it can be done, but should be done with one line at a time. So, documents, ISO, um, vert IO, then documents, file equal. I don't even know if this is gonna work. I'm just trying to do it from the command line. Equals Android dot QCOW2. That's the format of the drive. I'm guessing that's like input file. Accelerate. That's HVF. That's what it is, I think, on Mac. And then can I do CPU host? Will it even let me do that? Also, what's the size of the drive file? Ooh. There's some I didn't factor in. I'm going to do that now. CD documents ISO. So we got to create QEMU IMG create -f format QCOW2 Android dot QCOW2 yeah, get away with 10 gigs. The fact that that actually worked does give me confidence as far as this part goes. hope this actually ends up working. That would be nice. What's Oh man, I'm so sorry. I think I blocked some of it. That's the command I was typing right there. I don't know if this is even valid. Show cursor. So dash show cursor with no spaces. Not sure, but removing that's gonna help at all. Of course. That's something I could have also done. Um, just uh going with what I had and then fixing it up later. So the Excel, what? Oh my, what? What? Could this actually work? The performance is actually decent and everything. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm just in shock right now given how things were just going. How did that just happen? I don't know what I did, but somehow something just happened. Well, if this works, that's fantastic. And honestly, I could probably submit an issue as far as the vert IO thing. Otherwise, I can run a command like this. That's fine. I can create an alias to run it too. That would work. I mean, that's not the worst thing in the world. Let's just see if this even works. Holy, that was fast. VirtualBox definitely wouldn't have done that. Yeah, this is a lot faster than VirtualBox would probably be. Or it's because I'm doing it on an NVMe drive. I'm just I'm almost curious to see what VirtualBox does. I'm just curious performance wise. Um other I did 2 gigs for the other one. Okay, so I'm just gonna see what happens. So under ISO, I just need to see what ends up happening here. See the graphics controller, I think it's pretty limited compared to um yeah, let's just run it. See how much easier things are in VirtualBox. Hey, I just selected an optical drive. So, oh, that was actually very fast too. So never mind. Um, Never mind. Let's just get things up and running here. Let's just get things up and running with the QEMU. GPT. I mean, yeah, GPT would be great, but is it necessary? Well, actually, it won't really hurt. That's okay. It just didn't start out as GPT. So, create a new partition from free space. Starts at the beginning of the drive. Um, I'm assuming that default will be the whole thing. I don't really care. I think this right is actually what I do want. Oh, sure. I think we use grub to boot it, probably. See, this is one of the reasons why. I don't think that's necessary. So obviously, if we get this working, then what? It already installed? Oh my gosh. Well, let's see if it works. Because a miracle sort of happened here. Um, so then how would I run it normally? Oh, so this is a script to run it the way I want. Ah, do I have to have the CD-ROM parameter in it? I'm guessing that's not what I want. So then this is without the CD-ROM, just to remind you. Well, we have a non-graphical. This is non-graphical. I may have done the installation wrong. So it may not be the right graphical environment or something. Machine. Oh. Is there anything correlating with the so is vert.io really what I want? Different VGA options. QEMU. What happens if I say like VGA STD? Not sure if that'll help. From the looks of it, it did. Honestly, this is something that can easily be changed at any time. I just kind of want to get something working at this point. Because doing this late at night is just a terrible idea. Cursor's working nicely. Compared to Windows, it wasn't. I do want to connect it to Wi-Fi. Ah, how about this? Hopefully this works. I have no idea what's happening. I'm just doing a bunch of stuff and trying to make it all work. I'm mashing this junk with this junk and putting this junk over here, and somehow we're ending up with this. It's crazy. You know, the performance is actually pretty decent. I've in VirtualBox it is a lot worse. I've tried it. VirtualBox is like suffering with performance, what at least with what I tried. Hopefully this does something here. Cause I don't even know what I'm doing here. Whoa, there's something there for sure. I cannot stand these graphical glitches. There's stuff there, but oh whoa. So it was asking for an email, I think. I think it was asking for my email, which I will give it because oh great. Of course it has to show it, but whatever. I think I'm gonna go to here for now. It seems to be frozen. because I don't know what just happened. Android, it just tends to have these insane graphical glitches. It's unbelievable. I just punched in my password. Now it's asking for two-factor authentication. So on my real phone, basically this is what the screen looks like. And then of course my phone is doing this two-factor authentication right here. So I just have to accept that it is me. And then, oh no, what screen was it just on? If I knew what was going on with the screen, then that would be helpful. I just hit enter and it doing that black box thing again. Oh, great. Not again. This happens in VirtualBox too, by the way. Just out of curiosity, um, does it work any better if I select a different like device VGA or something? Oh, caps. Not sure if this will make any difference. There's no doubt that this is aggravating that it would. I've tried several different versions of Android x86 and see if this works any better. VirtualBox has done the same thing, FYI. So I know that it's email. I think I'm gonna record OBS on my system here just so that um I can with because I can see a preview of the screen and then it vanishes. Then I can see what's going on really. Oops. It's frozen now. I'm gonna go back. There must be a display mode that's not glitchy. Okay, I'm not necessarily having glitches like this, but alt right arrow. That's an interesting thing to try. Um, yeah, I'll give it a try once. See what that does. Start fresh. Because I would like to know what the different display modes are, and I feel like there's one that might be better than the other. So alt right arrow. That didn't fix this. It does indeed go into the terminal, but stuff doesn't come back. The left arrow does the same thing. Um, QEMU, VGA modes, what different modes are there? Box display. Tempted to try that just to see if it works any better. So, yeah, device. Box display. Slower may not be a good sign. And box is actually something I've used on my iPad to run Windows on it. Emulated Windows ID 5. Pretty cool. Been a while since I've done that, but yeah. Boy, getting Verb Manager is literally the least of our worries. This probably is too. What we're concerned about is getting the device paired up. This looks promising. Uh, is there anything else we can try? Vert.io dash BGA, that's just gonna do the graphics. That's only gonna bring us to the terminal or whatever. See. So vert.io is not great for that. There's no way that we'd be able to do that, is there? That doesn't seem like it should work, but maybe it will. I wish I knew what Chris typically uses, but that may not necessarily be applicable to this. That is pretty smooth compared to running it on pretty much anything else. I just wish it wouldn't glitch like this. But VirtualBox has done it too. It's aggravating to say the least. I've tried many different versions, they all do the same thing. Maybe I almost want to set it up on the command line if possible. Just for setting it up. They all seem to behave differently. Let's just try this. QXL-VGA. Device space QXL. Oops. Is there just like a VGA QXL? Not available. Device QXL? Whoa. Device service dash VGA. The valid one. And it causes the exact glitches that was on that website. It'd be amazing if the problem was fixed though. Just for setting it up, because once it's set up, then the glitches are more or less gone. Boy, looking at it through VR, it's like messed up VR goggles. If this works normally, it's almost worth. It doesn't. Amazing. Doesn't even work right. Yeah, this alt right arrow is not fixing anything. ATI VGA. So ATI dash VGA. Looks a little bit smaller and glitchy. Boy, the son of a glitch, huh? That is the glitchiest graphics I've ever seen, I think. That's cool though. I gotta run Windows with this or something. RAM FB. So RAM FB like that. It's very tempting to just use my SSD drive to try it on a host operating system just to get things installed and then figure out how to convert that to QCOW 2. Of course, it seems like somewhere I'd use disk duplicator, but then how do I get in an environment where I have access to the QCOW 2 and the raw disk? Would I use like Macrium or something with Hiram's boot CD? Does it improve anything? Yeah, VirtualBox will do the same thing. Pretty much guarantee it. Oops. Oh yeah, you select GPT, but it didn't officially write. Uh, hey, that actually was a bit slower. Interesting. Convert VDI to QCOW2. In case it works for some reason. VMDK2 VDI. So there's a built-in command basically. Cool. That does look, that's not much different. So the Wi-Fi is gonna be different across devices. Pretty much to be expected. It's not going to be improved in VirtualBox. Pretty confident about that. You know, that performance is quite a bit worse on my PC. So that's interesting. I have a feeling I'm going to be calling it a night pretty soon here because I'm not getting anywhere. See, it's not improved. Pretty much guarantee it's going to do the same thing. Um, I'm almost tempted to look at a video just so I can see what the pages all look like. Because really, that's my struggle. So, I think the performance seemed the best using that one. Um, so I'll disable carrot browsing. Um, wait, what? Did I see a Windows XP? I wish it would show like setting up the account and everything. I'm gonna do that thing with OBS and see if I can figure out what screens I'm on, I guess. Because really, when I get past these screens, then I'm all set, basically. Stuck on the password again. Sometimes it gets stuck on there, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm starting out the virtual machine again. What I'm very tempted to do is to just almost try using a host machine to install it, and then if I can figure out how to get that transferred to a virtual machine disk, then I'm set. And I'm not going to try to figure out GPU pass through. That's no. So start new. Does this have to be so difficult? It's definitely tempting to just wrap up. And realistically, I probably should. Is it the box that it freezes up with? Um, it's frozen again, so I'm gonna change the graphics back to that VGA. Just waiting for it to start up at this point. Really not missing out on a whole lot. I should maybe just start a new recording. So now it's on the login page. I'm gonna start recording and try logging in. Froze again. No, it didn't. Oh, well, it unfroze, I mean. Yeah, let's see if this worked. So two-step verification where I am now. Just going like this again. So, yeah. Oh, and I missed what it did next. Now I'm gonna view the OBS recording to try to gauge what the next page is. Oh, so next it's some I agree thing. This is what it is now. So I had to click this I agree. Okay. I'll try that now. Start a new recording. Trying to find the trying to figure out where the cursor changes for the I agree button. Oh, just on there it is. So essentially, I think the I agree button is right there. So I'm gonna click that once. Getting account info. That's probably fine to show. Get my account info. That can't possibly be a problem, can it? Still doing it. So really getting past these screens that are invisible is in fact the hardest part. Amazing. And just to be sure, I'm gonna go like this. Amazing that this is showing just fine. So I'm probably gonna be disabling automatic updates because after a while, I'm probably not even gonna ever use Wi-Fi again when I get it all configured. If I do, that is. So now back to Mac. Yeah. So I think launcher 3 is what I want. So I'm gonna hit just once just in case I select the wrong one. Yeah, that's right. The performance was actually terrible in VirtualBox, and this is pretty decent. I tried VirtualBox in Windows. Somehow that was better than VirtualBox in Mac on the same system with boot count. Crazy. So basically, we have an Android that works. I'm gonna go to the file manager just to see how we're doing on space. That's not going to be a good gauge. Yeah, launcher 3 is good. Couldn't remember which one's what, but I had a good one selected. 41% used. I think that's all right. So basically, So we don't have pass through at this point. So yeah, one of the things I was gonna mention regarding the oh shoot. One of the things I was gonna mention regarding pass through is using a dongle versus host Bluetooth. If you use host Bluetooth, you lose it on the host operating system, which that should be fine unless the keyboard and mouse end up getting used for it as well. Um, like I have this weird theory that the mouse and keyboard may be involved with it. Um, yeah, and I would lose keyboard and mouse control in that case, so then I'd have to hook up my keyboard and mouse, which would be kind of crazy. But I otherwise don't need it for the host operating system. And sound, I'm gonna have to probably use black hole most likely. I think I should be able to pass that through because I want sound input pass through to the VM so it can then broadcast to my hearing aids. Hopefully it doesn't add much more latency if it's going to add more latency at all. But yeah, so on the Play Store, um Smart 3D, can I get that? What are these other apps? I had to check them out potentially. The performance is like almost perfect as far as I can tell. Whoa, what? See, look at that download speed. See, that's on the same internet connection that was taking forever to download earlier, remember? Same connection. What am I telling you? I am not crazy when I say these weird claims. So, ooh, will that be a problem? Should we open this up in some other graphical thing in case that has anything to do with it? So this is the VGA. Let's try box display now. Because we're kind of at a point where it doesn't matter. If this laptop doesn't heat up a whole lot, which not too bad. Wait a minute, where's Smart 3D? How ridiculous. Hey, go away. Let me control it. What just happened? Did Smart 3D crash the entire VM? I never considered that. What it would be like trying to get that to actually run. On the bright side, it might mean that I can conclude this for once. There we go. Uh, There might even be a different version of. Wait a minute, can I kill the virtual machine with this? Yep, cool. So, mm-mm. This one seemed kind of promising. I was just hearing a weird sound, but it's how my glasses were rubbing against my hearing aid. Thankfully, that's all it was. There's a Linux Mint guide. Huh. Yeah, I may have to run a different Android x86 or something, because I do need Smart 3 to do the actual pairing. I've tried it without on my actual phone and it won't work. Besides, if I can't actually use the app for configuring it, well, I'm not stuck with going to an audiologist for at least some of the basic settings that I would probably mess with, then there's no point, honestly. Yeah, so I think the issue with it running may have to do with the version of Android. At this point, since the Smart 3D app doesn't even open, I think this is a great place to conclude this. So, 9.0 sounds newer, but in reality, not necessarily. So I think, yeah, I'm gonna conclude this live stream and I'm gonna see if there is a compatible version that actually opens up the app. If there's not, then this project is technically complete. I'll be adding stuff in the description as I figure things out, like a new link if I do another one of these live streams, of course. But yeah, if there's nothing there, then, or I say that it's not possible, probably not possible, end of story. Um, in that case, I'm just gonna have to do what I've already done, which is fine, but it'd be kind of cool to have the app on here. I think that would be tricky is switching between my phone and this, but whatever. So, yeah, I think for once, this is gonna be it. So, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to let me know. I'll try to get to you as soon as possible. Otherwise, yeah, I think that's it. So, thanks for watching and have a good one. Peace.